On today's show, we have Jaime Donally, the founder of EdChangeGlobal, our VR, MR, AR guru, and everything global maker. We'll have music from original Mr. C, the Google Tip of the Week, and more. That's all up next on EduTechGuys Radio.
EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.
Hello and welcome to EduTechGuys Radio. How you doing this week? I am David Henderson.
Hey, and I'm Jeff Madlock.
Welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and joining us here at radio.edutechguys.com.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Was that thrown to me?
I was throwing it to you.
You know,
you didn't know that because I was distracted.
We're in two different counties. No, we're actually right across the table from each other. But sometimes it seems like we're on two different planets.
Amen to that.
Hey, what a great week to be back at work. You know, the President's Day, and then our district had a Friday off, so we had a 4-day weekend. Yeah. So
don't be bragging. It doesn't look
a little
good
rub in there, but it's good to be back. It's like it's like my whole schedule's thrown off by missing a day.
Yes, and the short weeks are the longest weeks.
I know, because you come back, you think, oh, I got 4 days. Oh, it's a short week. But that's actually terrible because I'm trying to cram my Monday back into the rest of the week somewhere. Yeah. And there's just no time for it.
No time for that. No, ain't nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Hey, listen, catch us on the web at www.edutechguys.com. You can also catch us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google. Heck, just go to go to Google and type in EduTech Guys, and you will find us on the web. I promise you we'll come up. We paid a little guy named Guido a lot of money to make sure that our SEO was the top. No, we didn't. We just made sure we were the top of the SEO search engines. So just hit Google and type in EduTech Guys, and you'll find us. When you get to the website, you can drop down to the bottom of the page. You'll find a nice comment section there. You can reach out and touch us like AT&T. Ma Bell. Wasn't that there? Remember that? Reach out and touch someone?
Oh, yeah. Wow, you're going way back. Holy cow, dude. Oh, my gosh.
You know, So, hey, you know, what's great is that reminds me, isn't tomorrow Digital Learning Day?
It is. Tomorrow is Digital Learning Day.
Yeah. Yep. I forgot it. There's like 1,200 events across the United States going on. In fact, we'll tweet that link out here in just a second. I shouldn't say we will. I mean, the good doc will. He's our man behind the scenes, and I'm sure he's on the job right now. So
I'm sure he is dead.
And that's a great one because, you know, Digital Learning Day is an effort by the Alliance for Excellent Education. And that, by the way, that's at ALL, the number 4ED, if you want to check them out on Twitter, to engage students and empower educators through effective use of digital tools. And that's a great one. Digital Learning Day, is like I said, there's like 1,200 events across the U.S. We'll be tweeting those out. I think I heard my watch just ding, so that was probably one of those that just went out. If I know the good doc.
Yeah. Well, and we've actually taken part in Digital Learning Day here at the Education Service Center where I work, off and on over the last few years. We didn't have anything planned this time because it snuck up on me. It's like Christmas. You know it's coming, but then all of a sudden it's here, and you're like, wait a minute, I forgot to buy stuff.
You know, that's what's crazy is we follow so much stuff because of what we do. There's so much stuff. So much stuff. I can't keep up with all of it anymore. So we have the good doc on our side and a handful of others to keep us straight. If we didn't, we'd be dead in the water. Hey, it's going to be a great show today. We've got Jaime Donally here to talk about all kinds of stuff. You name it, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about EdChangeGlobal and Global Maker, and we're going to talk about VR, AR, and the new one that came out of nowhere. I've seen the letters before, MR, you know, but I didn't know what it was. I really didn't.
Well, I've not seen MR connected with augmented and virtual reality.
You know, when I hear that,
I know.
I'd take a whole side road here. I get the old joke, MR ducks, MR not ducks. Do you know that old joke? Anyway, sorry.
That's like the herd of cows thing.
The herd of cows, right? Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, mixed reality. That one just we're all over the place.
So country.
We are.
And I'm not even from the country.
You aren't. You're a Yankee.
I know. I'm a transplanted Yankee.
Trust me, I'm as country as you can get, boy.
Oh, I know.
I don't appreciate that. No. So Jamie's here today. We're also going to have a little song from. We always do our song artist of the day. The original Mr. C, a great educator himself.
Yeah.
Photosynthesis is the song today.
Oh, cool.
It's a really great song.
Awesome.
Then we got some stuff about where you can find us. We're going to be out and about throughout March. So if you want to see us live, you can. And also we hit our favorite thing, the Google tip of the trick of the week. Google app of the week.
Google tip of the week.
Yeah, it says Google app/trick. Who changed that?
I'm going to blame Nate.
That's it. There we go. Hey, we had a new scapegoat.
That's right.
That makes it even better.
No, to be honest with you, I think it's always said that, although we've always said tip. So the thing we call it is actually not in the document that we use to figure out what we're doing.
Well, I hope you're out there listening, and I hope you're having a good time.
I hope you're still listening at this point.
At this point, though, we're going to bring in our guest.
Yeah.
And I will let David tell a little bit about us and bring her on the line.
You're up. Oh,
I thought you were throwing to a commercial. Sorry, I didn't know what you were doing. Is this good? Are you up? Or is she good? She's ready to go. All right. We're just gonna let her introduce herself and save us from ourselves, because this is a ship sinking fast. Welcome to the show. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, all that good stuff, and then we'll jump into the discussion.
Awesome. Yes, I'm Jaime Donally, to all one of you still listening right now.
Wow.
you fit in perfect.
That's right. Please let there be one.
You're going to be the third EduTech guy, gal.
I'm not better. I'll tell you guys, this has been one heck of a day too. I've been doing video chats. I feel like they've all been failures today. So I hope that I'm not the one that brought about this bad luck here, but I will say that I'm super excited to share. It's so funny because the topics that you have listed, like, oh, what topics? It's like, I could do any of these. So I'll do, if you want me to do some AR, some VR stuff, some mixed reality stuff, if you want me to do some global education, we have ECGCs coming up next week. I didn't know you guys were going to combine them all into one. So I just thought I'd talk about one of them. Hey, what the heck? Let's talk about them all.
That's right. Now, we're going to let you hit everything you do. And there we go. No. But you'll be able to cover whatever you want to cover. This is
okay.
We leave it wide open to you.
Awesome.
I actually prepared some questions.
Nice. You're prepared.
The first thing right off the bat is, tell us about EdChangeGlobal and Global Maker.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple years ago, several years ago, I've been wanting to have an ed camp at my campus or my district. And every time I proposed it, it was kind of like, we're not going to go there. That's too much of a risk. What if nobody signs up? What if there's not facilitators? Like, what if it fails? That's on somebody else's head, not yours. So we're really not going to do that. It just wasn't appreciated. And I was just so enthusiastic to get it started. I love the concept of giving a voice to our educators. And through a couple different times of being not really told, go for it, but not really told like, you'll never be able to do this. We hate this idea. Just really hesitation, I should say. But at one point, it just kind of hit me like, why am I waiting around for a yes? Why am I waiting for somebody to tell me yes? We're all connected on social media. So let's get this started, So I mentioned it to one of my bosses at the time, Deb Atchison, and you guys had a chance to meet with her at FEPC.
Yes, we did.
And so she kind of, I just gave a little like, hey, can we meet here in a few minutes? Like, she's like, I was like, I have this crazy idea, like an ed camp online. I'm sharing this crazy idea. She goes, white. Like, do you even know what you're saying? Like, that's kind of a big deal. What platform? What? How are we going to keep track of the schedule? Well, let's just have a place that we're just posting whatever anybody wants to do. And so as I'm describing this, the more ghost-like she looks and the more terrified that look of like, what are you thinking? So at one point, I think she thought, this is just going to fizzle out to be nothing anyway. So she kind of just went along with me and ran some crazy ideas with me. I was like, well, shoot, why don't we just go global with this?
Yeah.
Like, why are we sticking to just people around here, just in Texas? Like, well, then wait, we got to make this 24 hours across every time zone, right? So this crazy concept of EdCamp Global at the time became just reality, because I went home that next day, and that weekend I made a website, registration page, all of our forms for facilitators, for welcome, for everything, and came back on Monday and I was like, Deborah, it's in, like, we got people registering. And she's like, what? You did this? Like, what? Wait, And then it wasn't but a few days that she kind of was like, what did I sign up for? This is big, Jamie. Like, this is a lot more work than I thought I was getting myself into.
Sure.
And that happens a lot between the two of us. We kind of do this kind of stuff. But with that being said, it was, in my wildest dreams, I thought maybe 100 people hopping on, and it was not, I want to say maybe a week, 100 people were hopping on. And it was just like mind blowing. So the process of how that went to that first time, this idea to let's put this out there, to the actual day of the event, we had almost 1,800 teachers from 39 different countries joining in. And I mean, it was at 500 registered at the time that I started to really want to read NIG. Like, I was like, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Deborah's like, are you crazy? I'm like, let's pause this registration here. I'm not comfortable going over 500. She's like, oh no, we're going all in now. So we ran with it, and it was awesome. It was just one of those events that just, was hitting home, because people want to meet where they're at. And they wanted the opportunity to collaborate globally. They just needed a day. And all we did was just provide a day for this crazy idea of like, what if? And the next day, well, actually, I started mentioning it the day of the event, the 24 hours that we all stayed up for 24 hours to run this event. And so I started to talk about it, and I just got a hand. They're like, oh no, you just stop right there. We're not talking about this until tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. So, a few hours later, when the event ended, I'm like, okay, so I want to talk to you about the next idea. We're going to do this with classrooms. And so then we're like, oh my gosh. So crazy time. It became a classroom event, which is actually our second classroom event, will be next week. Is now no longer EdCamp Global, now EdChangeGlobal, and just given the freedom of what this has turned into, just naturally evolving into what it is becoming on its own. Not trying to follow a model, but just allowing this model to naturally just come together to what best fits our teachers and our students. And so we've had 3 different events so far, and this is going to be our 4th. And in our 3 events, we have reached 81 countries, which has been just enormously more than we ever thought. In the process, our collaboration, I'm so pumped about. I love this class. I mean, our connections through these events have been just enormous. Have some incredible folks. Cassie Reeder is another amazing woman that has joined in with us. And I mean, us 3 girls have kind of been through the entire process. So there's people that have been part of it to help make it what it is. And then they can't maintain because it's a lot of commitment. So the next group kind of comes in, and then the next group. So we have a cycle of people that have been able to join in and commit to it for that season. But us 3 ladies have been kind of through the thick and thin of all of this and see it evolve. But the conversations in it, which are fantastic, and the connections, which are fantastic, to me just were not enough. I really felt like it needed to move from, hey, let's talk about it, to let's put it to action. Let's do it. Join me on that one. Not everybody was like, yeah, let's jump ship and jump over to this Global Maker Day. But I think that what Global Maker Day is allowing our classrooms to make, and it's not about a makerspace, and it's not about a specific tool to use, and it's not about having to have all the same things, or this is the way it's done. And all it's really about is just giving a day to our kids to just be incredible. And I will tell you, it is one of the most incredible things to see your Twitter feed just with hashtag Global Maker Day scrolling through, not just that day, but the whole week. And everybody's showing the stuff that these kids were making and how creative they were, and just laughing and watching the videos, and just blown away at these kids. And the next day they're asking, when do we get to do this again? when is the next one? When is the next
Yeah,
one? Do you want it
yeah.
right now? Because that is what learning should really all be about. So
Absolutely.
that's those two events.
That is awesome. Yeah, you said that like, oh, so that's the two of those global, worldwide
Yeah.
events that I'm in charge of that I came up with off the top of my head. But
No.
Yeah.
It's evolved, and the people involved. I mean, there's no way that this is a one person deal. And to be quite honest with you, if I can reflect back, there's a lot of it that I've been just sitting just like amazed that it has turned into what it is, because I'm in disbelief that there's a need, but then at the same time, the reason why we ever wanted this is because of the need to connect.
Sure.
And I'm not some big social media guru or anything. It was just literally just saying, hey, here's an idea. Let's connect this way. And people all over the world look for this opportunity. And, there might be events here and there. And I think really the day of the event is not what's significant about them. It's the connections beyond the event. So I get to meet these people at ISTE, and I run into them in the street, and oh my gosh, your kids made those 3D prosthetic limbs with their 3D printer like that. Oh man, your kids motivated me. And I mean, it's a cool experience ever. It's been a privilege.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That is.
I'm the timekeeper, so I have to do that. Augmented reality and mixed reality. So tell us.
What is that?
Yeah.
And I apologize. I think I keep getting frozen here in the background, but augmented reality started out for me. The first time I ever saw Erasma, I was like, I'm sold.
Yes.
Now, of course, there were things that happened with augmented reality that I can reflect back on that I did not know was augmented reality, but I was so excited about. And all these in my mind, just how this can be applied in the classroom. It just ran, it's just like, oh my gosh, this. The next day I'm like, PD, AR, So all the teachers like, oh, here we go again. The next cycle of craziness with Jaime. And, it was, to me, just a passion that I still have that I think should be in every classroom, that needs to be available. And with the tool of AR, of course, VR, started looking into that early 2015, and created a module for atomic learning as a contributor. And It was like, okay, this VR stuff, every kid needs to be doing this, And so again, there were tools that I had used in the past that I never really connected as VR until that moment. And then started compiling the resources, and then it's just taken off from there. And I feel like I'm excited. If you were to ask me, what sessions do you go to? What sessions will you go and present on? Every time you're going to see AR and VR stuff. Like, that's just naturally. I want to say I'm leaning more towards VR just because that's so upcoming and so many new tools coming out right now. But ultimately, to me, it's not just the wow factor. I think it has a lot more to do with the unlimited factor, because a lot of our technologies do bring us places. A lot of our technologies make those connections, but I feel like AR and VR gives you an experience that you just could not have without this technology. So our kids need it. Our kids desperately need these experiences. They need to know outside of their bubble what the world is and how to explore it and how to connect and collaborate. And of course, the wow factor helps. It helps.
Right. Sure. Yes. Of course.
Everybody wants to have some holographs floating around in their room and stuff. But ultimately, I think the learning that takes place from the enthusiasm and engagement from our kids are just that technology. It's just incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so and really kind of to expand on that very thought, in terms of if you've got a teacher who they're wowed by it, but still they don't understand, okay, wow, this is very cool stuff, but how would I use this in my classroom, or why would I use this in my classroom other than the wow factor? What are a handful of reasons you would give to somebody, or things how you would answer that to them?
Yeah. And I think the application is so real. Anything that anything that I would share with the teacher, if they can't see the direct connection to their standards, if they don't understand the simplicity of using that tool, because we can make it super complicated. We can, require all this and that and all this knowledge. But there's so many incredible tools out there that do simplify the process. I mean, many of us have Nearpod available in our district. So, or it's free, the free version. And yet now we can look at things in a three-dimensional lens. And now we can go somewhere using 360, but they just don't know that necessarily that tool's available.
Right.
So because of it, it's more of just, hey, everybody has Google Translate on their device. Did you know it also has augmented reality? And you can view through the lens of that to look at something. It's just those types of situations where it's like, it's not recreating the wheel. It's certainly not learning how to do this crazy technology that you'll never have a grasp on, but it's just utilizing what's out there, and simply using it out there and then building from there. Hey, I'm taking this to the next level, but you're really starting with those basic, the basic, application, and sure. I can run with it here now. Like we do, but really moving towards the creation aspect is that next level.
Yes.
I'm getting from here to there. But once they begin creating the tools, then we're unlimited. Then our kids are telling us what they need to learn and how they're going to learn and what their needs are.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Great answer. Don't star.
You've kind of danced around some of the tools, and I don't know how willing you are to share some of those. You talked about Nearpod. You talked about some of the other things. What are some of the other tools that you like to use, or is that like you got to save that for? Come see Jamie, and then she'll tell you the tools. Which we can respect that. We can respect that.
Well, do not see my cheat sheet that I have right here on my phone.
There you go.
I'm not looking at that right now. No, I am thrilled to share anything I gather. I am sharing it like crazy to try to help support classrooms applying this and allowing our students to engage in this. So there's never a time that you're going to hear me say, that's just for me.
Right.
For anybody and any situation, and anybody could take anything that I create and modify it for their situation or their presentation at any time, as long as it helps our kids. That's what it boils down to. But so looking at some of those tools, you're always going to hear me talk about co-spaces, because that is the creation of virtual reality worlds, gives our students a chance to even do some coding. So they brought in some Blockly in there and allows them to really take the concept of developing our 3D models, taking our 3D models and animating them, and even having a marketplace for our kids to upload into, and to kind of create this atmosphere of like being an entrepreneur. And what does that look like for our students? So taking ownership for our kids. So CoSpaces is incredible because you can create it so easily. It used to be online. Just last week, they announced that it is now in the app. You can actually design your 3D worlds. It's literally click, drag, and drop. Just dragging and dropping these three-dimensional objects. And then I share a link. And then, hey, I'm going to share that link with you guys.
Yes.
You guys open up that link and whoa, I'm in a 3D world. You just designed this in 5 seconds and now I'm there. I share it all the time at presentations to show how easy the application is. But more importantly, giving our kids a chance to create those spaces is just remarkable. And oftentimes they're like, well, what does this mean with education? Yeah, they're creating something great. And then you're like, well, what do you mean? I mean, reports, time eras, or sharing their learning mathematically, like proportionality. I mean, I'm just like, there is endless, but you're right. Teachers sometimes need to see exactly what has been done to know, oh, we can run with it that way. And that's okay. So I think that right now, CoSpaces is doing a fantastic job of hitting a market. They're beginning to build a library of resources so that teachers can see the application and how this can be used in education. And they're just killing it. They're out there in Germany just doing incredible stuff. And they're so personable. So if you have things that you want to share, like, hey, you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see bam. And they listen, they're receptive, they're working on it. Every week you see something new come out. So CoSpaces is fantastic. I love storytelling in VR. So Google Spotlight Stories is fantastic. Learning that our storytelling can be modified by the viewer. So, hey, I want to look at something. I'm going to now change what this looks like based upon what other people, I'm going to change my story because I'm going to regulate this. I think that's the direction we're going with even storytelling. So, pretty cool stuff. Augbat. I'm looking at my stuff. Traces, doing some augmented reality. Zapbox. Oh my word! I know. I'm looking at my time running down right now. If you are not familiar with Zapbox, and they are out right now, their Kickstarter that has ended, but you could still get in on this early release. This is a game changer because it's taking a $700 viewer of HTC Vive and a $2,000 computer that needs to run it, and it's turning it into $30 for our classrooms.
That is awesome.
It is fantastic.
Wow.
I'm so pumped about it, and I can't wait to see it just explode here in the U.S. with our classrooms.
That's awesome. Holy cow, man. So see, this is Jeff nailed it on that. So as we were getting into this early discussion, talking about taking the entire kitchen and trying to cram it into this one thing. So what that means, though, is that we are definitely have to have you back if you'll join us again sometime in the future.
I'll just add 30 topics this time. I mean.
I do want to mention your YouTube channel.
Yes.
I know that you have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jaime Donally.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tweet that out. Nate, handle that. So that'll be taken care of. But yeah, tell us a little about it. Is that the only video area you have, or do you have videos in other areas?
Yeah, I have videos in other areas because I maintain a couple different accounts as far as so EdChangeGlobal, EdCampGlobal have lots of stuff on there that have been done through the events, as well as the welcome and intro and how-tos. Then Global Maker Day and how that all looks, because that's all recorded in live video all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, looking at AR, VR, and EDU is kind of my new passion. So that piece right there has been tied in with my account, Jaime Donally, and that's when I've started interviewing different companies so that teachers and districts can prepare for this technology coming in to set up their infrastructure and know exactly what they need to get prepared for, what type of viewer that they should get, what type of devices are best for this.
Yeah.
So it's just pretty much preparing them for the tools out there. But people would ask me like, hey, how do I use that? And then I'd say, oh, let me meet with you. And then finally I was like, why? I'm meeting all with these people. Let's just meet with the company, share the product and what it's all about. And then I'll store a library. So that was the point of that. I also have created some playlists, and one of them is the virtual reality, the 360 playlist for teachers that can pull from about almost 60 different videos, educational and Star Wars, and 360 experiences that they can have in their classroom with their kids.
Yeah, well, those are not mutually exclusive. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I'm there with you.
So, all right. So we talked about the recorded stuff. So where can folks find you live? What you got going on? I mean, obviously, you've got your global events coming up. So again, talk about those. But then what else is in store for Jaime Donally?
Absolutely. So I guess the next major conference coming up is ISTE. So I'll be presenting quite a bit. I'm part of 2 different PLNs on the board there. 3D community, so that 3D network of looking at AR and VR and 3D printing. And then also part of the global collaboration PLN. So definitely connecting our classrooms and our teachers. So I'll be at playgrounds doing that. I'll be doing some sessions there, doing a scavenger hunt with Tara and Amanda. So for our global PLN. So there's like lots of stuff we'll be doing at ISTE. Of course, next week I'll be live on our crazy ECGC 24-hour event. I mean, you're going to see these bags getting, but you know what? It's okay because it's just one of the most incredible experiences ever, seeing these kids all over the world connect and just share their amazing skills. So
that is awesome. That is so cool. So folks who are listening who may not know where to find you on Twitter, give us Twitter. I don't know if you do Facebook, whatever, however you want people to get in touch with you. Tell us how to do that.
Yeah, Twitter is typically the place that I do connect with mostly. It's really hard to find me because my parents misspelled my name. No, they need to be Jaime. I'm like, what? Who does that to a little girl? No, I'm Jamie, but they spelled it like Jaime. So all my life I've had that complex, but it's Jaime. And then even married somebody that spells Donally different. I mean, so, Donally. So Jamie Donally. And it's pretty easy to find me if you use the hashtag ARVRIN So ARVRNEDU.
Cool.
And I'm all over that. And tonight we're having a chat. So we're going to be using the Masquerade app and just going crazy. So it's going to be a wild chat because we're going to see lots of really hilarious videos and becoming the character using augmented reality.
Oh, okay. That's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Well, the EduTech guys will be there. So we're going to start. We're going to
Nice.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys need to definitely, get on your mask and become that character. And, there's a lot of fun stuff on there, but thinking about application in our classrooms is just, our kids go wild with it. It's awesome.
Cool. Very, very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us and putting up with the crazy internet issues that we had. But we definitely want to have you back on and delve a little deeper into some of the things that we just kind of skimmed across the surface of with our rock skipping in the pond. So,
and there's so many incredible people that have some things to share with you. And, what would be your recommendation for them to get in touch with you and want to join you for a conversation?
Hit us on Twitter. They can email us either Jeff@edutechguys.com or David@edutechguys.com. Twitter is probably the best place to catch us.
Yeah, just at EduTechGuys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect. Here we go. Cool. Thank you so much. And we will definitely be catching up with you later. And again, you can find Jamie on Twitter at Jamie Donally. And we've tweeted that out. We'll continue to tweet that out. And thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
Jamie.
you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. It was great to meet her again. We had our first meetup back when we were at FETSI.
Yes. Yeah.
And she sat down with us and was kind enough to be one of our first lambs to the slaughter, if you will. To get her to sit down with us.
I don't think it was that bad. We seem to get some positive reaction.
Hopefully she doesn't feel that way either.
No, absolutely not. So,
but no, we're going to drop out real quick and we're going to catch our new artist of the week. This is not a new one. This is the original Mr. C. Great educational musician, PBS interactive artist teacher. Mm-hmm. This is a great song called Photosynthesis. We'll be right back with the EduTech guys.
My name is Mr. C. I want to teach you about the world and what it really means. This song is about the plants. Plants all around us. Plants. Here we go. Sing it with me now. Say plants are special. Yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love called photosynthesis. Now plants are so special. Yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is for the green plants you should know. Absorbing sun's energy, helping them stay strong and grow. Cause photosynthesis, plants taking CO2, the carbon dioxide's in the air, and that's what the plants remove. Hey, photosynthesis, plants use H2O, absorbing the water through the roots and to the chloroplast it goes. Hey, photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplasts, converting CO2, water, sun's energy to make sugar and oxygen at last. Cause plants are so special, yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love called photosynthesis. Now plants are so special, yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love called photosynthesis. Say photosynthesis. Everybody come on, say photosynthesis. One more time. It holds it up above the ground. Nutrients flow through it. It goes up and down. Also, plants have leaves. The food factory. Without the leaves, you wouldn't have any food or even energy. And the plants have the roots down in the ground, holding them there, keeping them strong so they don't fly around. Cause the roots also store the plant's energy. Think about it, that's where we get potatoes and carrots. See, cause plants are so special, yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love, we call photosynthesis. Now plants are so special, yes, please remember this. They do a special job that we all love, we call photosynthesis. 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 Photosynthesis.
Hey, that was the original Mr. C doing photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Sorry. I like to say that word.
What are you doing?
That's a great word right there. Photosynthesis.
Oh, this train
It's
rides the rails and falls off.
That's
and
what
gets
makes it
back on
fun.
again. There you go.
the fun. It's a fun podcast.
It is.
It is a fun podcast. Hey, we're going to be showing up live in a few places, possibly. This first one here, I'm not going to actually read because the second one I'm not going to read because I haven't discussed it with David yet. So the first one I'm going to read, the guys will be on EdChat Interactive on March the 15th, discussing the politics of education. So if you want to find out more about that, just hop out to EdChat Interactive on the line. Just go to Google, type it in. You'll find our landing page there. We'll tweet out the landing page here in just a bit. You can sign up for the EdChat Interactive. We'll be discussing the politics of education.
Yeah, that's going to be that's actually going to be a lot of fun. That's a program that is hosted by Mitch Weisberg, and if you've not seen any of those, you definitely want to look at that. Again, that is EdChat Interactive, and he's got previous episodes archived, and it's very, very cool. It really is an interactive ed chat. So as folks join in, there's kind of a group room where everybody takes part, and the hosts, and in the case of March 15th, it'll be Jeff and I. We will have the floor and we'll have discussion and talk about things. And Mitch will have things that he wants to talk about as well. And then folks actually get to break up and pair off or break up into small groups anyway inside the live chat. And then after, a couple of minutes, everybody comes back into one group and we kind of either visit with what was discussed or we simply, move on and keep going down the road. And it's going to be really cool. It's unlike anything I have ever seen. And so it's going to be really neat to be a participant in that environment and hosting a discussion of politics and education. So I hope you join us then. Again, that is EdChat Interactive. If you go out to, and I believe it's .org, edchatinteractive.org, there'll be a sign-up sheet. You can actually register and sign up to be a part of the live interactive chat portion. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, really cool. So there was one more upcoming event, but we haven't talked about it, so I put it on the list, and we didn't chat about it before the show. So we'll chat about it, and then we'll have it out next week. But you can also check Twitter and check it out there on the Twitter if you need to find out where we're going to be live, if you'd like to see us and sit down and talk with us face-to-face. We don't have as many internet issues when we're talking face-to-face.
Yeah, no. But hey, along those lines, and speaking of seeing us, if you would like to bring us to your district, work with your administrators, your teachers, work with your students in a classroom, feel free to reach out to us, EduTechGuys.com, or hit us up on Twitter at EduTechGuys, and we can work with you and come out to your school and talk about all kinds of things, whether it's podcasting, whether it's using podcasting with Google Classroom, a way to get your students' voices heard beyond the four walls of your classroom, or for that matter, to get your voice heard beyond the four walls of your own classroom.
Bingo.
You've got stories to tell. It's real funny. I can't tell you how many times we try, especially when we're in a live conference, which that also reminds me, if you've got an event you'd like us to come and do live podcasting, where we will grab participants as they walk by and get them to sit in the seat and visit with us, or they can also schedule times, as Jaime did with us. You can also reach us EduTechGuys on Twitter or edutechguys.com. Fill out the form, and we would love to come out and cover your event. But one of the things that I find when we try to get folks to come sit down or just talk to us, well, I don't have anything to say. I got nothing to share. I just take one moment. And if you're an educator and maybe you have a student that's going to fit this right here as I'm saying it, but maybe it's somebody you had in the past, right? And it's a student who just drove you bananas, right? Just, or was that student had that one little, that quirk or that kind of funny thing. My wife used to teach preschool, and one of her students was Little Willie, and Little Willie was a cusser. So we have this 3 to 5 year, he was 3 to 5 years old, and I mean, just, cussed up all the storm. But so, of course, she's trying to educate the child and at the same time not laugh hysterically at this little kid, saying the things he's saying.
Right.
And of course, she tells it way better than I ever could. But that's, you can share those kinds of stories. But also, it doesn't have to be a negative, quote unquote negative. What are the positive things? You have a student who just blew you out of the water with what they came up with. It was so out of the box. Sure. Those are the things that you can share as an educator.
Well, and even in the situation of a Little Willie, the humor in how she handled it, but she handled it, and there's a lesson to be learned in how she handled it.
Exactly.
So that story is the juice is in the story.
There you go.
Hey, listen, I'm the old timekeeper here, and it's that time again. It's time for
Google Tip of the Week.
Yes, missed that voice. So this week, the Google Tip of the Week is Google Chrome is about to revolutionize virtual reality. And what they did was Google announced last week. Now, this is the 13th. This is when this story was released. So this is only a couple of weeks old. But they announced that the latest version of Chrome, its popular web browser, will support virtual reality on the web, allowing any user to view VR content on any device across any platform. So that gives a more immersive experience. Users can view web VR content on Daydream-ready devices like Pixel. There you go. Their device. Users without a Daydream headset or compatible device can still view the content, but in a 360 type, video fashion, similar to like Google Street View. For now, only a few websites offer VR content. However, Google is working with developers to increase this number. The company also revealed it will be opening web VR to other VR headsets like Cardboard and Oculus Rift.
Awesome.
Which brings it open to a whole group of folks.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to check out that article, it's a great tip. It's a great article about VR and what's happening with Google and what they're going to do for everybody. Not just entertainment, but education.
Yeah.
Check it out. We will drop the link out on the good old Twitter. You can find it there. You can also find it in the show notes later on the website.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, it's been a great day. We want to thank Jaime Donally for being here because it was awesome having her on board, getting to talk with her again and see her again. We zoomed in, so we had a nice video chat there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good week because it's almost over.
Everybody is working for the weekend.
Ain't it true?
That should be a song.
Hey, that's a great idea for a song. Hey, listen, I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you in the funny pages.
You've been listening to EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.